Imagine you are strapped into a seat smaller than your couch cushion, hurtling through absolute darkness at 25,000 kilometers per hour, and the only thing standing between you and a death so violent it wouldn't even leave a body is 4 centimeters of aluminum and a prayer. You are not watching this from Earth. You are 384,000 kilometers away from everything you have ever loved. And somewhere beneath you, a machine that has never been fully tested is waiting to carry you down to a surface that has not felt human footsteps in over 50 years. This is Artemis 3, and nothing about it is going as planned. Before we go any further, if you're new here, hit subscribe right now, because this channel is where space stops being a beautiful screensaver and starts being the most terrifying thing in the universe. Like this video if you want more. And drop a comment below. Would you get on this rocket? Let's see who's brave and who's honest. Now, let's go back to the beginning. It starts with something that looks almost romantic. The SLS rocket, NASA's most powerful machine ever built, sits on a launch pad in Florida, wrapped in steam and light, gleaming white against a pre-dawn sky. The crowd is cheering. The world is watching. For a moment, it feels like humanity is doing what it was always meant to do. Reach upward, push further, go beyond. But here's the problem. That rocket, it's the easy part, because what NASA needs for Artemis 3 isn't just a rocket. It isn't just a capsule. It isn't just brave astronauts who've trained for years and signed their lives away on a dotted line. What NASA needs, what the entire mission lives or dies on, is a lunar lander. A machine that has to fly through vacuum, descend through nothing, touch down on a world with no atmosphere to slow it, and then somehow climb back off again. And that machine, as of right now, it has never been to the moon. Let's talk about what's actually happening here, because the official press releases make this sound controlled, managed, safe. It is none of those things. After Artemis 1, the uncrewed test flight, the launch tower was so damaged by the shockwave of the rocket's engines that it had to be reinforced before it could be used again. We're talking about a structure made of steel and concrete, built specifically to survive this, and the rocket nearly tore it apart just by launching. That's your safe scenario on the ground, before anyone is even on board. Then came Artemis 2, 4 astronauts, a lunar flyby. They went around the moon and came back. No landing, no drama, at least not publicly. But that mission existed for one purpose: to prove that humans could survive the journey out there and back again, to prove the Orion capsule worked, to prove the life support didn't fail, to prove that when you point human beings at the moon, the machine around them holds together. It did. Barely enough. And now they want to go back and actually land. But that's not even the worst part. Here's where the story gets strange. NASA doesn't have a lander. They never built one. Instead, they handed that problem to 2 of the most competitive companies in the history of private space flight, SpaceX and Blue Origin, and essentially said, build us something that works and do it fast. SpaceX got the first contract in 2021. Their solution? Take Starship, a rocket so enormous it makes the Saturn V look modest, and adapt it into a lunar lander. At the time of that contract, Starship had never successfully reached orbit. It had exploded repeatedly on its test flights, spinning into fireballs over the Gulf of Mexico in ways that looked almost beautiful if you didn't think about what was inside. Elon Musk said it would be ready in 2 years. It wasn't. 3 years of development, multiple redesigns, spectacular failures, and incremental progress later, Starship is closer than it's ever been. But closer isn't there. And there means a vehicle capable of carrying human beings from lunar orbit down to the surface and back. That's not a prototype anymore. That's the real thing, and the margin for error is exactly 0. Blue Origin is the backup, and also the pressure. Jeff Bezos' company received their contract in May 2023, and they're building something called Blue Moon. Their new rocket, New Glenn, had its first test flight in January 2025. The booster exploded on its way back down. The second flight, in November 2025, went better. The booster landed softly. Satellites deployed. Progress. But we're not putting satellites on the moon. We're putting people. Now here is where the plan gets genuinely unsettling. Because someone, somewhere inside NASA looked at this situation, two unproven landers, a moon that hasn't been visited in decades, the most politically visible space mission in 50 years, and decided the original plan was too dangerous. The original plan was to go straight from Artemis 2 to a lunar landing. Get on the rocket, fly to the moon, figure out the landing procedure on the way. They actually said that. Figure it out on the way. Someone put a stop to it. And the revised plan, the one targeting 2027, is both more reassuring and somehow more terrifying at the same time. Here's what they're actually going to do. The landers launch first. One or both of them, climbing into low Earth orbit and waiting. But these machines are enormous. Starship is taller than a 20-story building. Blue Moon is its own kind of monster. And to get from Earth orbit to the moon, they need fuel. Enormous quantities of fuel. Fuel that cannot all be loaded on the ground because the rocket couldn't even lift off. So before any of this works, someone has to prove that you can refuel a spacecraft in orbit, in zero gravity, with cryogenic propellant that boils off if you look at it wrong, with docking maneuvers that have never been performed with vehicles this large. This has never been done before, not once, not ever, not by anyone on Earth. And it has to work perfectly, because if it doesn't, the lander sits in orbit, slowly bleeding fuel into space, and 4 astronauts waiting in their Orion capsule have nowhere to go. But it gets worse. Assume the refueling works. Assume the landers are fully fueled and waiting. The SLS launches, Orion reaches orbit, and now the crew has to dock with the lander. This is where your heart should stop for a second, because docking with Starship means flying your tiny Orion capsule up to a nose cone bigger than a house, lining up with a port at the very tip, and connecting 2 vehicles that were built by completely different companies in a vacuum 400 kilometers above the Earth. Starship's docking port leads into a flight deck that is multiple stories tall. You dock, and you float through an airlock into a room the size of a small apartment. It's vast. It's strange. It's nothing like the cramped quarters of Orion. And somewhere in that cavernous space, 4 astronauts are supposed to run diagnostics on every system: life support, power, propulsion, communications, while the Earth turns slowly beneath them and the moon hangs in the black distance like a pale eye. They'll spend up to 3 weeks doing this. 3 weeks in Earth orbit, testing, undocking, redocking, practicing. Because the alternative, finding out something is wrong when you're descending toward the lunar surface at 1,800 meters per second, is not a conversation anyone wants to have. And in that time, they'll also do something that sounds almost mundane until you really think about it. They'll put on the new spacesuits. These are Axiom spacesuits, designed for the lunar surface. More flexible, more capable than anything Apollo astronauts wore, but no human being has ever worn them in the vacuum of space. So the astronauts will test them inside the lander's airlock, cycling through vacuum exposure, checking seals, checking joints, checking the systems that will keep them alive when they step out onto a surface with no air, where the temperature swings 300 degrees between sun and shadow, and where the dust, fine as smoke and sharp as glass, is just waiting. This is where you realize that every single layer of this mission is something that has never been done. Every piece of it is a first, and you are the first person to try it. But that's not even the worst part. Even after all of this, the orbital testing, the suit checks, the refueling demonstrations, the docking practice, there will still be no crewed lunar landing on Artemis 3. Not yet. First, they have to send the lander down empty, uncrewed, autonomous. A test run to prove the descent software works, that the landing legs hold, that the engine doesn't fail 1 kilometer above the surface. They're calling this Artemis 3.5, which isn't even an official mission, it's a hedge. A safety net stitched in after someone realized that maybe pointing humans at the lunar surface in a machine they'd never fully tested was the kind of decision that ends careers and ends lives. And then, only then, comes the actual landing. Step back for a moment. Just step back. We are talking about a species that has not landed on the moon since 1972. We are talking about a mission that depends on private companies delivering hardware they have never fully tested. We are talking about in-space refueling technology that does not yet exist in operational form. We are talking about suits, landers, docking maneuvers, descent algorithms, all of it new, all of it untested at full scale, all of it standing between 4 human beings and the most hostile environment our species has ever tried to inhabit. And we're doing it because China is going too. Because the moon is not just a destination anymore. It's a territory. It's a strategic position. It's the high ground of the next 100 years of human civilization, and whoever builds there first gets to define the rules. The universe was never waiting for us to be ready. It doesn't care about our timelines, our budgets, our press conferences, or our prayers. Space is not a backdrop. It's not a screensaver. It's the most indifferent killing machine ever assembled. And every time we send humans into it, we are making a bet that the machines hold, and the math is right, and the luck doesn't run out. Artemis 3 is the most ambitious, most dangerous, most consequential mission NASA has attempted in 2 generations. And the terrifying truth is that most of it has never been done before by anyone. If you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of person this channel exists for. Subscribe. New videos drop every week, and we go deep into the places that keep scientists up at night. Like this video if it made you feel something. And leave a comment. Do you think Artemis 3 actually makes it to the surface? Or does something fail first? The moon is waiting. And so are we.